마운틴 GSL 시즌 1 리제너레이션.
Welcome back. We just now saw Maru beat RagnaroK. He's going to be in the winner's match. Now it's going to be Scarlett versus herO. And I'm very, very much excited about this match, Artosis.
Yeah, this is a very exciting one. You know, Scarlett, obviously a very strong Zergverse Protoss player, but at the same time, sometimes Protoss will get under her skin. You know what I mean? Like, occasionally,
sure.
like, something will go wrong. They'll nail a rush that she's not liking, and it feels like she can fall apart a little bit then. But if she kind of, if her mentality doesn't explode, if I could say this more clearly, then she's really quite fearsome at the matchup.
Yeah, when we talked to her before the game started, she seemed to be in very good spirits.
Yeah.
Scarlett's definitely been down to our studio so many times. I feel like she's actually very, very comfortable here.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of times we'll have these great players who have dominated all over the world, but you know, everybody who wants to get better at StarCraft watches GSL, and I've heard firsthand from some of these pros that when you watch this tournament a lot and then finally manage to actually play in it, it can be a little bit weird and overwhelming.
Oh, I could imagine, yeah.
Now, that being said, I feel like Scarlett is one of the non-Koreans that really is quite comfortable, not stressed out being down here. So I think she's going to be able to deliver exactly the kind of game she's been practicing at home.
Indeed, indeed. And I'm hoping it's enough here because herO is sometimes very monstrous. Again, he had a little bit of a rough year last year.
Yeah.
But he's still one of the world's best Protoss. I think we can all kind of show him that respect and give him that you know, he had a few bad tournaments last year, sure. But when herO brings it, there's basically no one more fearsome from this race.
Yeah. We're going to start this off on Port Alexander. New Repugnancy and Kairos Junction will be maps 2 and 3. Our game is now loading up. The winner of this best of 3 goes off to face off against Maru in the winner's match. Let's go.
GSL 시즌
Just means they're
1
both losers.
리제너레이션. 게임이 시작됩니다. 포트 알렉산더. 게임 준비 완료. 뉴비 스칼렛.
Hey,
Scarlett cheers here in the audience.
She's not a newbie. She's a Gosu.
트라이언펀트 송 게이밍 herO.
Piling in the main gas.
He's up to something.
He's definitely up to something.
We'll see how he plays. If someone just tells him this is Super Tournament, he might win this season.
He'll come back in 2 days to play again.
So there was what was it? The first time herO won the Super Tournament, he had skateboarded to the studio.
Yeah.
And then won the thing. We're like, that's the coolest person in the world. That guy just skateboarded to a gaming tournament and won it. He skateboarded home with one of those giant check things we give out.
Yeah.
He probably went to the bank and cashed the giant check. They accepted it. That's how cool he is.
Well, he probably was skating with that giant check and using it like an air fin to go quicker, to get home quicker, because he's so brilliant.
Yeah, yeah. This is a tough group, though, for everybody. So maybe not more for everybody else. Some herO support here in the audience. By the way, a pretty full studio.
Yeah, a lot of people here today.
If you guys are watching at home and headed down, you should get here fast. Because
there's still room.
There's still room. But they gave us a barrier here because we're casting on the main floor. We have this wall that I feel like it doesn't. I feel really safe behind this one thing.
Well, actually, it's for the audience so that you can't go over to them and bother them.
It keeps me contained.
You think it
over
keeps
here.
them out? They don't want to see you, so they want you to stay over here.
But yeah, there's still a little bit more room in the studio. We've actually, between ASL and GSL, we've really been filling up. There's definitely a hunger for more StarCraft here in Korea.
So what are we seeing here? Ah, okay. So the Robo quite quickly here and Chrono boosting out a Sentry. If I may guess, I think what we're going to see is a Sentry Immortal push coming up.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, Artosis.
Which doesn't surprise me too much, right? Because what player is probably most like herO?
I want to say SOS?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was
Maybe
SOS
a little bit
saying?
like partying?
SOS was saying that he thinks that Stargates are overdone. It's time for something new. It's time for mixing up a little bit. And what was he doing? He was doing a lot of Sentry Immortal pushes and he won his group, right? So wouldn't be too surprised if that's kind of what we're in for here with herO.
I think this is a cool move.
Yeah.
I'm curious how ready Scarlett is for it. Scarlett's also one of the players that will grind hard in a lot of games and then take big breaks, take time off and rest and recover, which I think is actually one of the best ways to improve at the game. I don't think you're supposed to be playing nonstop every day. You can sort of hit mental walls.
Yeah, you certainly can. You know, I think that there's a balance to be found between the two.
Right.
Between, you know, taking too many breaks and then practicing too hard, but I guarantee you that you are 100% correct that just playing all day every day is not correct.
Yeah.
But putting a lot of time in is much better than what most people do, which is not enough time. So that's why we generally see people who play all day up near the top.
It's also not a matter of just playing, right? I mean, you have to be learning, you have to be adapting, you have to review the games that you lost and be thoughtful. Because there are people that have been playing for the same amount of time as these pros, and they're in low masters. They can't get higher. And then part of that's because they're not really addressing their problems.
Sure. That's very true.
And so it looks like we're close to having this rush started. The War Prism's out. I'm sorry, the War Prism's coming. There's 2 Immortals that are out. And, yeah, I mean, let's see if Scarlett's ready. I will say, out of all the times we've talked to Scarlett before the games, today she seemed in a very good mood, very confident.
Yeah,
which is
kind of more relaxed than many of the other times in the studio. So.
By the way, this is the only non-Korean in the GSL, guys.
That's right.
This is it.
Okay, here comes this fake Oracle. Yeah, herO's not buying it. No, I mean, Scarlett's not buying it. It's funny, though, because once upon a time, people would buy that a lot. Oh, wow, it's a 2 Immortal drop.
Yeah. Are we going to have a push? And there's actually a Stargate behind this.
2 Stargates behind this.
2.
Faceless. What in the
this
world
is
am I watching?
crazy.
I'm loving it.
Now, I don't think this is something that's like going to become like an every game build. This seems like it's a really weird tech shift to try to throw Scarlett off.
Well, okay.
When you see Immortals coming out here, you're not, as a Zerg player, going, I bet there's 2 Stargates being made back at home. You just don't think that.
Never.
So this is...
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What is it even? I don't know.
Hey. Well, if it's 2 Stargates, I guess this isn't intended to end the game at all. These Lings are actually getting a really nice surround here on these Immortals. And this is pretty easily held off, but did it work? I mean, has this forced the Zerg into investing in a tech that doesn't actually... It doesn't help.
Okay, let's take a guess here, okay? If you are showing that you're going to do an Immortal Sentry push, because that has to be what you're assuming here. That's the most dangerous thing that could be occurring. You probably just make lots of Roach Ravager, right?
Yeah.
You probably don't go right into Hydra. So the Stargates are actually pretty good, right?
I think it might be intended to try to make the Zerg go Mutas. Mutas, when you see this, there's nothing that hits air, right? And you have a Spire on the way here.
Some people do go Mutas to counter this, but Mutas come a little bit later. A lot of times if it's this, it's like lots of Roach Ravager and some Lings, and Stargate's good against that. But yeah, if they go Mutas, obviously you're already countering it so hard.
He hasn't actually shown... Oh, well, hold on. Never mind. What I'm saying doesn't matter because the Overlord scouted the Phoenixes. I was going to say...
It does matter, Tasis.
It's now there is no more surprise here for Scarlett. Scarlett probably a little bit caught off by this kind of really weird Phoenix tag.
For sure. She has to be wondering what in the world is going on. But she's making Corruptors right now, right? So
yeah, and that Corruptors can very easily address the Phoenixes. So
and the Warp Prism turns out.
Also, you know, when you see herO doing this, it's really cool and interesting because we don't see tech patterns like this, but that's also for a reason, guys. This is probably not the cleanest way to build up as Protoss, which means that if herO doesn't do a lot of damage with these weird tech shifts, Scarlett should be ahead.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking, like, Scarlett hasn't really taken that much damage, right? herO's gotten his 3rd base up
at a fine speed and everything, and is starting to go into more regular techs. But the fact that Scarlett right now has a bunch of Corruptors out and is taking a 4th base and going into Hydras, it seems like she's on the right path.
Okay, nice targeting here on this hatchery. Looks like that force cancel will happen. It's actually quite annoying. Very important for Zerg to get that 4th base up and start to utilize it as quickly as possible.
Blink in +1. Okay, herO is just all over the place, man.
I feel like
gas first.
I feel like there's like a wheel over there and he's spinning it and it's pointing out different texts and you just go into that. Like Blink right now. I'm like, what?
Well, yeah, right. So it's a gas first double Immortal drop into 2 Stargate Phoenix into +1 blink.
Yeah.
I guess that's good against corruptors, right?
So there's this dance that happens a lot of times in StarCraft games like this one where one player is teching and the other player is trying to tech into something that's going to counter that tech.
Yeah.
And you're seeing this dance go back and forth. And yeah, I guess if you saw all those corruptors, the most natural response is to then get Stalkers with Blink. Problem is that there's a lot of things that Stalkers with Blink are not good against in the late game with Zerg.
Like other Zerg units?
Like, yeah, like pretty much. You know, Overlord's drones, I guess they're not good, but pretty much everything else is quite good against Stalkers with Blink.
When it's a big macro game, Stalkers are really not that good. They're good in like early game, and then like if you get stunted economies and it becomes like a very scrappy type of battle.
There's a lot of cool tactics you can do with them, but
Yeah.
if we're getting to the point where both players are maxing out, if you had an abundance of Stalkers, it's sort of it's not probably
They're a little bit
right
roachy
unit.
in that regard.
Yeah, they have like a time and a place in the game, and then they immediately become not optimal, suboptimal.
Well, looks like herO is switching up tech once again in a
that
charged storm. It only took like 4 different techs to get to the regular, right?
Yeah.
A lot of Hydras being made by Scarlett. She has a lot of bases as well. Has just taken her 5th. Looks like herO wants to take his 4th. Moving out now.
Okay. The War Prism set up to probably try to draw away the Zerg. By the way, Scarlet's creep spread is pretty damn sick.
Yeah.
Like if this army gets out here and starts to lose the fight, the Zerg army should be able to surround it and kill it.
So moving forward right now. Should be a decent amount of Psy Storm just momentarily. A lot of force fields too.
By the way, herO's expanding to the 12 o'clock spot. This is where you're kind of pushing, but because the army sort of blocks off the expansion, you're kind of safe doing that too. Guardian Shield activated. Scarlett's going to go in here for a surround.
Yeah, she's really setting up nicely here. Just blink forward there, picking out some crushers. Okay, good force field set.
Yeah, now that's a lot of force fields that were cast. There's still more force fields available. I think Scarlett might want to back up though.
Yeah, the Psy Storms have been pretty good.
Did she get the War Prism?
Was there a War Prism with this army?
Maybe there was no War. Maybe I'm seeing things up, but
I didn't
something
think
was
that
taken
there
out.
Actually.
I'm surprised if there isn't. I thought there were 2 War Prisms out. Maybe I missaw that.
Oh, there's the original War Prism down there.
So the push is coming forward here, and there actually might be enough for herO to break this. Oh, meanwhile, this base taking a lot of damage, really utilizing those corruptors of Scarlett.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't need it in this army. Some good force fields coming down.
Okay, a lot of these sentries are kind of over here in the corner taking some shots from these Hydras.
Oh, this surround.
This is a 6 surround.
Yeah, it's really good. This is still a strong Protoss army, but no storms left. Turns them into Archons.
Yep.
Oh my god, it looks like Scarlett is going to clean up this force.
And, I mean, the push looked pretty scary, but ultimately it was not enough. And this Nexus is now really low, and this is very straightforward. I mean, Scarlett just pushes through over to this location. Oh, is she making Broodlords back there? That's funny. Yeah. I guess you can do that.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, you
all the Phoenixes died. So.
Yeah, exactly. There's no more Phoenixes. You might as well do this. I think we're about to see herO tap out.
Yeah.
Game 1 should be going to Scarlett. And we are now seeing just where a lot of Stalkers gets you in late game against Zerg.
Yeah.
Hydra is way better units than Stalkers when they have to fight.
Okay, well, that 4th base goes down. The Broodlord's coming as well.
Oh, wow. And yeah, this is a great location to hit over here. There's really not a lot that you can do, even with Blink as herO against these Broodlords, and now these Hydras coming down. Nicely done here by Scarlett.
Just a completely wild game. GG is called, and Scarlett takes map number 1. That was an insane strategy, a set of strategies from herO. I've never seen anything like those tech switches that he brought out.
Yeah, it was a cool game from herO. Unfortunately, it did not work, and I don't think we're going to see that type of play again.
No, I would be so surprised if he did that exact thing again.
Normally, herO sets up almost better than anybody else some kind of a timing attack that really cripples the opponent. And then from there, herO basically has a pretty easy, clean ending. That was a very different game from him in Game 1. He really did a very abnormal tech pattern and tried to kind of skate that to a victory by probably just knowing those routes better than maybe the Zerg has dealt with it. But Scarlett handled it with such grace.
And Tasteless, wasn't that Overlord a complete hero, though? If there had been a Stalker on the edge of herO's base, and Scarlett had not seen the Phoenixes, she may have just made a bunch of mutas. In fact,
that's a good point.
She would have made a bunch of mutas. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
She wasn't like, I'm going to tech the Corruptors against Immortals.
It was really good instinct by Scarlett. Yeah, send that Overlord in there, get the confirmation. Okay, this is not a normal game.
That is
respond accordingly.
A tiny thing that really changed the outcome, I would say.
All right, guys, game 2 on New Repugnancy is ready. Let's go.
Regeneration. 게임이 시작됩니다. 뉴 리퍼그넌시. 게임 준비 완료. 뉴비 스칼렛. 트라이엄펀트 송 게이밍 herO.
So a little block on the natural hatchery.
Yes.
Third base, most likely.
So, yeah, let's see what herO does this time. It's going to be interesting because there's so many things that herO has pulled off that it's really hard to do, and you basically have to execute it perfectly. But he can do it. Whoa.
So it's a pull first. Okay. I was wondering why she was kind of sitting there waiting.
Okay, no block there on the Nexus.
I was wondering if she was going to do something a little bit cheesy with that pull first, but...
Well, it looks like she's spent all the larvae here. That probe eventually chased away.
Was she going to, if her hatchery got blocked, do a proxy hatch? Was that what was going to happen?
I don't know, because that drone pulled away really quickly.
Because if you do the pylon block and then the Nexus, then the core, maybe that she feels like there's some sort of timing in there? I'm going to have to ask her.
Okay. So far, everything looking fine here for Scarlett. She's going to continue to tech up. But yeah, there was some interesting moves. I don't know if we can really ever unpack it until we ask her, but
yeah.
As far as what she was trying to do back there. And now herO's going to try to slow down the third hatchery here. Now this probe's already pretty damaged, so it can't last for that long, but a little bit of a delay. And now we're having a Stargate here from herO.
Oh. Well, that's standard.
Yeah, but I mean,
I was excited.
When herO's doing it, I have to imagine there's going to be some kind of a timing.
Spray paints the GG tasteless.
Oh, I didn't even notice that, yeah.
I love it.
Savage.
Savage.
That's right. So the Adepts are coming out, putting a little bit more pressure. Even though this is looking normal here from herO, I do feel like there's a really high chance that he does some kind of weird timing. herO doesn't usually play orthodox games and go into late game and just win. He usually has some kind of cool attack.
That's true.
The thing is, you just don't know when the attack is going to be or what type of attack it is.
Yeah, but so far it looks completely normal. Just Adepts making an Oracle here. See if anything wild occurs. Actually, finishing up the Shade, getting in that main, checking everything out. Very solid micro there, running away. Scarlett skimping on the lanes as much as possible, only has 4. Doesn't want to engage.
Okay.
Everything still looks normal for herO.
Yeah,
there goes
Robo coming here now.
Should see a Twilight momentarily. Right?
Yeah, I mean, he's just sort of staying back, teching up. Here comes that Oracle. Now, he just want to get a few kills on Scarlett's drones and then basically keep this alive so he can continuously tag. Twilight Council as well. Yeah, everything looks pretty standard.
Yeah, nothing too weird going on. A couple drone kills. Again, the norm, cleaning up with the Phoenix.
And now we've got some more gateways coming down. We should have a few more planted here from herO. Yeah, very, very textbook game from these two.
And interesting because Scarlett got a very solid scout off overall with that Overlord, but it's still going +1 melee, which isn't necessarily bad, but if it's against Archon drop, it's not really as useful, right? Like, I mean, obviously it's still useful on Lings, but a lot of times when you go +1 melee, that means you're skipping Roaches and going straight to Hydras, and you want Hydra Ling. So yeah, that's just kind of a little bit weird based on the tech that we've seen.
A War Prism is almost out.
Oh, you know what? Where is the Twilight? I think what happened actually is the Overlord, it went into the main, then it circled back to the Nat, and that's why the Twilight was slightly late, right? So there's a possibility here that what Scarlett thinks is occurring is actually, again, an Immortal push, because she didn't see the Twilight. She just saw the Robo, and if you don't see the Twilight, it's not an Archon
Yeah,
drop.
you make a very good point, herO. Scarlett might be duped here. We're going to find out. That Temple Archives is almost done. We should have Archons warping in here in a moment. With Phoenix is keeping the Overlords basically off the map. Okay, so here are those Templars now.
Yeah, I think this is going to catch her off guard for sure.
The question is, how much damage can you do with this? Because with an Archon drop, if they're not ready, you're always going to get a lot of damage off, basically.
Well, if you have only Lings and Queens to defend,
Yeah.
it really, a lot falls on the Queens because the Archons just wreck Lings so hard.
The Queens want to try to hit that War Prism as much as possible. But of course, still get this is Archon dive over here. Overlord goes down. Good pickup just before the Spore plants.
Yeah.
16 more Lings.
Ooh, okay.
Nidus.
Okay, so I think that this was, I was painting a picture that probably was not even true. This could have been the plan the entire time, just mass Queen, +1 Lings popping out of a Nidus with that unload speed. Oh, herO sees it though, herO sees it.
Yeah, that's right.
That's important.
Yeah, this is kind of funny because when you're massing Queens, it's already kind of organically allows you to sort of deal with the War Prism and the Archons and everything.
This is pretty funny, Chase C.
Yeah, good transfuses here. This War Prism just barely out of range. Oh!
Ooh! herO wins.
Nicely done. Now there's another big Ling attack coming up here. The Oracle's been activated. Looks like the positioning here should be good enough that Scarlett can't really deny that. Now, because she already invested in the Nidus, she's going to go for it. And actually, herO's like moving out on the middle of the map. Here we go. Okay.
Well, that is a lot of units going in the main base. A few Zealots being warped in, but that is going to take a long time.
Yeah, are we going to have a recall over here? Meanwhile, Lings, a second Nidus over here. There's maybe too many things to juggle here for herO.
Really nice play here from Scarlett. Looking poised to possibly take game number 2 here. Look at that, good damage. The nice juggling here from the War Prism, though.
The thing is, even if this is pushed away, oh, I'm sorry. Actually, this is going to be killed off here at the top. I thought that there was more damage being done up there.
Yeah, I thought maybe the third would at least be taken down, but good good management here by herO.
Okay.
Scarlett getting in.
Yeah, Scarlett continuing to do a lot of damage here.
Now, one thing we really should mention is that Scarlett has used Lings and Queens mostly, so these are not like gas expensive units or something. It's like easier to lose these units.
It's more acceptable because it's not like a crazy investment.
Yeah.
Like, Lings are always going to be doing damage, and you're losing them in the process.
Yeah, but she didn't make any Roaches, any Hydras, anything like that, so there's no real high-quality units to try to hold this counter push.
There's also no counterattack options that we can see here for Zerg unless another Nidus is thrown down.
Whoop, pretty much.
I'm sorry, is there a Nidus being thrown down right now? Did I miss that on the
No.
No. Okay, no, I stand corrected.
Nice.
But there is a push coming out. Now, I feel like it would be wise for Scarlett to start to use that Nidus again. There are Lings also counterattacking at the top left. So there wasn't any counterattack potential earlier. Now there is. And I feel like unless herO can do so much damage that Scarlett has to react somehow to this. Oh my god, we're going to have a base trade.
Yeah, this is a complete base trade because she knows she cannot possibly hold here. Oh. Well, that is GG.
Everything just died inside the Nidus.
The GG happened right where he spray painted it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's some good foreshadowing, herO.
Is that foreshadowing?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Clearly, he's the one that put that down. He's the one that killed the Nidus and forced the GG.
It was an excellent literary device by herO.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. The Nidus was destroyed before anything could unload.
He's the author of his own destiny.
So we don't know where those units go, guys. This is one of the great mysteries. What happens to all those units when the Nidus dies?
Well, it's one of those, like...
They're all buried underground.
It's an Edgar Allan Poe, like, horror thing where they're, like, in the wall, they're underground, just...
Exactly.
They got just dirt in their mouth.
Archaeologists... Archaeologists just find these horrifying buried queens there.
Yeah. My, oh my. Well, the attack started to do a lot, but herO handled it very well. Stopped that Nidus at the third base. Good job on him. And now we come to game number 3. Both players having kind of a cheeky game so far.
Yeah,
Nothing
I don't know what to expect
standard.
in Kairos Junction here. That was a cool attack there by Scarlett, but you can see herO stabilized, came back really strong. I really did want to see the game base trade, but herO stopped that right away.
Yeah, that would have been fun because there was a bunch of drones in there.
All right, game 3 is ready. Let's go. herO over Scarlett.
카이로스 정션. 게임 준비 완료. Scarlett.
Big cheers in the audience here for Scarlett.
Triumphant Song Gaming. herO.
Hatchery block just occurred.
Ooh.
Yeah, the proxy edge.
Yeah.
See, yeah, I think she was prepped to do this in the first game.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And right now, herO thinks that Scarlett just threw down the hatchery at the third. That's like the normal thing to do. But that drone is coming around, Tasteless.
Some ches.
Indeed, it
Some
is.
cheddar. Some cheddar this game, Artosis.
And of course, with the
Some fromage.
with the probe in the main, everything looks normal with all the
Yeah.
timings because there's like, yeah, there's been a hatchery built.
Yeah.
You know?
Look at that.
Oh my.
This is masked brilliantly. So the probe's going to come down.
Well,
And then
he's gonna know
hero's going to have a
immediately.
sick heart palpitation. Ah!
Yeah, there's not like another third that you would probably take. So he's
Okay,
gonna start
but he's looking in the
scouting
wrong spot. He's like, is it here? Is it over in this corner? Oh, okay. Looping around. Oh. And then,
for it. Oh no!
okay. herO knows that he has to react really quickly and perfectly here.
Yeah.
Throwing a forge down. Every little building placement is incredibly important here. First of all, the pylon's on the outside. There's going to be another pylon placed over here. I think he wants to get offensive with cannons. The spine's being made in a very nice position. Hard for Protoss to get over there and deny that. The spine has started before any cannons have because the forge isn't finished yet.
Yeah. And
Okay, shield battery right there.
Oh, shield battery. Okay, okay.
Zealot coming, probe pulled. I don't know the math on anything that we're seeing here. I don't know how this is. I'm not qualified to talk about this. Yeah.
Well, so far, hero's holding it pretty darn well, I would say.
In fact, he's holding it so well, I'm starting to get alarmed here. Like, is this just not a good strategy from Scarlett?
It's all right, but you responded so quickly and so well. The amount of probes that were pulled, the fact that there's a shield battery there, it makes engaging this so tough. And with a cannon about to warp in, coming harder and harder.
Yeah, the cannon's out. This battery getting low on HP, but it's certainly allowed the Zealot to sustain enough damage for this cannon to basically hit everything.
God. Is that what shield batteries really look like? That was crazy. That thing lived for 100 years.
Yeah. Okay, so the spine is now coming up here. There's a lot more being placed. More spines being placed behind this. We don't quite. Okay, here we see them coming up now.
Saying it's shield battery here as well now.
I don't think there's any more room for shield batteries near the front of this, by the way.
The spines might actually be able to work on stuff a little
Is there
bit.
a queen being made here? Yeah, there's one more queen. I assume that has to be coming here.
I would
this
imagine.
hatch. Oh, Link's getting here for a really good surround.
Yeah,
Battery doesn't have that much left.
Well, another battery just now finishing up. Very tough indeed. We need more spines up here.
Okay, another spine comes.
Yeah, little path.
Yes.
Right around the hatchery.
Yeah.
Really well placed.
Okay, another battery here and another cannon. That 2 cannons is way more than 1 as far as how quickly damage is dealt.
I feel like if there were minerals next to Scarlett's hatchery, this would be a Haas game.
Yeah. Okay, more Lings are coming down.
Ooh, some good targeting on those Lings, actually.
Yeah, this is right before that battery could finish, or that additional cannon could finish.
Yeah.
Scarlett tries to retreat, but some of those Lings get clogged in that little area. It looks like the spine might be going down.
Yeah, it definitely is. The cannon actually in range there. Just brutal. More Lings being made, more Queens being made. Scarlett not giving up yet, but this is looking really bad.
Wow, GG. Nicely held by herO. It was a cool strategy, but you know that's one thing about herO is he can intuit very well what's going on.
Yeah.
herO looking so relieved after that game. That was a nail biter.
Yeah, herO's so happy about this victory. This was a very, very close one. Scarlett almost had him a couple times there.
It was pretty cool. I mean, you notice the moment he made that pylon right by the hatchery, he seemed to know exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah.
Exactly 1 cannon. The rest are batteries.
It was smart. He did it just right. He kept his units alive, and that is so important. You know, you feel like cannons are the ultimate defensive tool, but what are stalkers but mobile cannons?
That was pretty brutal. So Scarlett's going to go down to the losers match. That means we'll have a Zerg versus Zerg, Scarlett versus RagnaroK.
Yeah.
So nobody's eliminated just yet. And that also means Maru versus herO is coming up next. Sick. We'll be right back, guys. Stick around.